Hey besties, you guys are about to watch a first time episode of Cuz Why Not with me and my husband. But I want to give you a heads up now. I got one of those fancy cameras and I'm still learning how to work her. So she was in autofocus, so she gonna be darkened sometimes, lightened sometimes. But work with me. You can listen to the audio only version on YouTube Music. If you're like, just can't do the visuals, I get you, bestie. But you are in for a treat. These three stories are good, and the advice is A1 because it comes from lived experience for some of these. So be ready. It's about to get passion, some little spice, and think twice about your relationship and how you communicate. So if you're ready, let's strap in. Let's get started. Hey guys, and welcome back to my channel, Charente with my husband,
Royal Matt.
He has his own channel on YouTube as well. Don't forget to check it out. And today we're going to be doing, I'm going to call it Cuz Why Not. Me and my husband, we share stories to one another, and sometimes we get heated because of the story. And we thought, let's actually record us going through some stories on Reddit that we just are like, whoa. We love Smosh and we love how they say things, but we also realize that sometimes they don't.
Sometimes the opinion feels incredibly biased, one-sided, than taking all the accounts in the play.
And so we thought to come together because we are in a successful relationship. People in our community do look to us, and we wanted to help you help each other be in relation better together, right?
Right.
Okay, so our first episode, we're actually recording this on our anniversary, and
6 years.
6 years, 1,000-year challenge. That's what we're doing. Hashtag 1,000-year challenge. And I will say this is that these stories are about courtship, as in these are about dating. You know, I know we're married, but that does not mean that we still don't know the dating game. Does it?
No, it does not.
So let's go ahead and get started. You have your phone ready, honey?
I have the story. I have my story ready.
Okay. Who do you want to go first?
I'll start because this one seems incredibly short.
Go ahead.
All right. So this is from the Am I the Butthole?
Okay.
Title is Am I the Butthole for telling boyfriend he's in the wrong?
Okay. I don't know where this is going to go, so I'm listening.
All right. So pretty short and sweet story. Boyfriend asked landlord to call him today, aka the day, because it was 9 p.m. at night and he was busy. Fast forward to the day, boyfriend is home on lunch and landlord calls. After hanging up, he starts losing it and complaining about being called on his lunch break. I looked at him and said, "You asked him to call you today, and he called you today," and said it's ridiculous to get mad at someone for doing exactly what you asked. I've now been getting screamed at for not being supportive and being an asshole. But I don't think I was an a-hole. Is this in this situation? Am I the butthole?
I think I missed a big chunk of this because this story just doesn't make any sense. Give me 1 second, yo. I need to pull up my phone because
No, that's the entire story.
that's the entire story. Wait.
That's the entire story. And yes, while we're reading this, we are enjoying ourselves some ruffles.
We're not sponsored.
Not sponsored.
Fast forward to today, boyfriend.
Told you.
Okay. I just want sorry, y'all. Sometimes I have to read it myself because it's just so what? I'll just say this is that just be thankful your landlord called you back. Is that wrong of me to say?
No.
Because a lot of landlords, like, they sometimes are like, it's like they're ghosts. Like, you send them something and, like, they want to go invisible. Like, that's their superpower. So for me, I just think that it's not cool to be upset at someone that shouldn't have been upset with because you can't reach everyone at every time. That's why we have voicemails.
Mm-hmm.
At least that's what we used them for back in the day. Oh my, and I still use voicemails to today to make sure the person knows what's going on. And if I know it's a mobile number, I text them too.
Yeah.
What are your thoughts?
Not wrong. But there's a better way to work. There is a better way to communicate certain things. And this more feels like a communication issue where she probably said it with some sass in her voice. Well, you told him to call you. Well, that doesn't help.
That's actually very fair because that is some nuance that not a lot of people like think about is like your tone can change what you say. And it's not even like an intentional thing. It's just, it changes the feeling. At least in my opinion, it does.
Definitely does. I would also say that a boyfriend, you did tell the guy to call you tomorrow, but you never specified when would be a good time. So tomorrow for a lot of people can sometimes fall on your lunch break.
And my thing is, isn't it best that it fell on your lunch break so you can talk business? Make that one make sense.
He probably needs his lunch break as a breather, but it makes no sense not to at least communicate better to your landlord. Hey, I might have an issue. Is it possible you can call me at X time tomorrow where I'm free and go over? But doesn't look like that's what he did at all.
I think that's pretty ridiculous. So are you ready to move to the second story?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. The second story is, am I the a-hole for thinking about not going to spouse's work party?
At the start, I would say no, depending on what happened. It's almost an immediate no, because sometimes people just feel uncomfortable.
Very fair. My question is, should I go into this one? Because this was the second one. We weren't doing marriage today. This is marriage. Do you want to do marriage?
Still a relationship story.
Okay. I'll cut this part out. I just want to make sure. Okay. For the past few months, I have begged my spouse to stop scheduling things on Sunday afternoon and evenings. I meal prep and all around prepare for the week ahead. I work 60 to 70 hours a week, plus household duties. Despite what I think is a reasonable request, my spouse has either obligated us both to a Sunday evening event or planned one on his own. I tried asking kindly, politely, not so politely, in tears, angrily, and frustrated for me to have Sunday nights to prepare for the upcoming week. There was one Sunday since I've made my request, the first time a few months ago, where we didn't have something planned on a Sunday night. And that was because we were flying back from my home state after the Thanksgiving holiday. Anyways, he told me recently that his work party was this Sunday night. Needless to say, I was shocked. He works at a small clinic and is one of 3 doctors. There's maybe 15 total employees, and anyways, he's probably had no say, but I can't be sure of that. Even if he didn't have a say, he did all the previous times that he chose to blatantly ignore my request/boundaries. I keep allowing this to happen, going along with whatever the plans are without prior protest. And I'm afraid that if I give in this time too, there might be a next time. I'm at my wit's end. I don't want to embarrass him by not going, but I also want to honor my own boundary. Side note, I always have serious food restrictions, so I won't be able to eat at the dinner anyway, which I find people always make a fuss about. Let's see here. 1 second. My nose ring is having a whole moment. I don't know what this acronym means. WIBTA. Oh, would I be the butthole if I don't go? TLDR. My husband keeps making plans for Sunday evenings when I'm asked him not to. Am I the a-hole for not wanting to go?
So I would say this. If it would be...
Not your phone. Pause.
That's the phone.
Just pause and start.
I would say this. If it wasn't for it being a work party, understanding she has a boundary that her husband has not been keeping up with or respecting, I would 100% side with the wife. No, you're not the butthole in this situation at all, because your husband keeps ignoring your boundary, right? However, there are sometimes some things you have no control over in a plan. Work-related parties don't really have control over when those trigger.
No, and I can say, like, you don't have to always go to a work party. I have not gone to work parties because I know there's going to be alcohol, and when there's alcohol, people act a fool. And I worked in HR, and HR people acting a fool is a different level of acting a fool. I don't think y'all have ever experienced that, but it's not fun. And for this is going to be doctors and nurses.
Don't trust alcohol here, because they already are. A lot of that is already rumored to be employees messing with each other.
A little bit more of a toxic culture that's bred, and a lot of, because we're together all the time, we're now going to really create family, you know? So I can say, just for this topic specifically, when I read it, I'm like, here's the thing. She says she works 60 to 70 hours plus household duties, and all she asks is for nothing to be scheduled on Sunday afternoon and evenings. And I remember I've even told you this before. And I've asked you, I was like, Sundays are my days. I don't want to do anything. I don't want to see anything. I don't want to talk to anybody. I am like hibernated. And what do you do?
Primarily, I leave the house and don't mess with you at all.
And what is that day technically to you now?
That is also my personal day. My primarily, and this is actually good, primarily Sunday is both of our do leave each other alone so you have your day to yourself. We communicate if somebody needs the car, since we are right now at a 1-car household.
Yes.
But primarily you just want to be in the bed, lay down, watch YouTube videos, eat, and things like that. So I usually get the car. Saturdays is more up in the air. Friday nights, we try to maintain some sort of date activity on Fridays, or if we don't do anything Friday, if there's nothing planned, try to do stuff Saturday in the morning time frame, so that in the afternoon we each could enjoy about a day and a half each of just doing what we want to do. But this one actually, I'll say this story actually fit a lot more than I thought it was going to, because it sounds like us.
Yeah.
Because especially with the factor of the wife having eating restrictions as well.
That one, I wasn't ready for that line. I really wasn't.
So being with that, we experienced it to where, because our lovely host here, Charente, she has to be very cautious of what she eats. She primarily eats early in the day with a fuller meal, and it also includes her some snacks on the side that she can eat and brings it with her. So that's understandable. But I will say this, with asterisks, not the butthole, because with things that can be controlled, if he's not respecting that boundary, you have every right to say no. But in this direct instance, if he had no voice in the scheduling of the party, and if he is one of only 3 doctors, it does look really bad for a doctor to be an employee party, and the doctor is not there with his spouse if married.
Are you ready for it?
So I say yes in this instance. If it was yes, you kind of are. But if it was in anything else, any other event where he actually had control over when it was scheduled, you have all right to say, absolutely not, I am staying home.
So I'm going to say this, and I want to be as kind as I can when I say this. She is not the butthole for being at wit's end. If she's asked multiple times, this sounds like this has been going on for over a year, and it's so repeated. No, I would not even go to it. I'm going to let my spouse know I'm not going to it. Well, what about people? You should have thought about that when it was a Sunday, and I've asked you in regards to Sundays, and are you going to meal prep? Are you going to do the household duties? Are you going to hire someone? Because if you're not, I don't want to hear it. And it's also that part too. She is stressed out. She's doing more work than he is actually doing. And I get he's a doctor, and I get that. And it's amazing. And I love the fact that we have that profession. But at the exact same time, how much else is she supposed to do? 60 to 70 hours a week, and household duties with meal prep, with food restrictions. Bruh, I wouldn't even be able to do that. And I'm being as kind and honest as I can be. There was no way. Absolutely no way. And then to be able to like not have a Sunday where I can actually do the things I need to do to make sure that the entire house is taken care of. And that's not getting done because you really keep like going over my boundary. That's where I'm like, I know he is the butthole, because he is now repeatedly disrespecting her by not allowing her to even have a boundary. And it's not because she don't want to hang out with her spouses. She wants to make sure that the family's taken care of, and she's thinking about them, and he's thinking about him only. And I think that's where I have an issue with it, is because she has communicated this multiple times and he hasn't heard anything, and he keeps doing it. And in this case, if she wants to sit out, he should have no issues with her sitting out, because that's allowing her to still take care of the household. And the thing is that he can show up to one party without his spouse. And then what's the reason? Well, she is actually taking the much needed break she needs. That's the truth. My wife is so taken care of that she is allowed to not come to all. Do you get me now? Like, what's wrong with that?
Yeah.
So that's honestly like where I'm at, but it's okay that we have our own perspective, and I'm perfectly fine with that, because at the end of the day, I realize we're also not in the situation, right? So like, that's the lesson out of all of this.
But we also, I would say this, we also don't know his work schedule. Like, I get what she's at and what she does, but also playing devil's advocate, we don't know how his schedule looks.
I get that, but also where's the housekeeper? If she's doing all these hours and he's doing all these hours, and he's a doctor, and we know they have normally a higher salary.
Depending on if he's still paying off loans or not.
I don't want to factor that in because you know how money is being made, and you know if you're actually doing good investments, you're not having issues. So for me,
if he is a full doctor now, then he has no loan remaining.
And then the fact that he's also one of 3 doctors at a small clinic.
Yeah, he's
normally those doctors actually own that building.
Mm-hmm.
So that's always like, sorry, here, I'm not trying to be rude or like try to like antagonize, but I can't side with him at all in this one because he keeps disrespecting what she says. Her word is not being listened to at all. And the thing is that, like I said, if he gave her additional help, possibly a personal chef or possibly a meal prep plan that has the restrictions that she has, but it's good food. These are solutions. He's not getting that. He's just literally bulldozing over what she said. And then the fact that you're playing devil's advocate lets me know where you're sit, but also this is not a relationship at the exact same time. Because he's the asshole. He's the butthole. But also, let's move on to the next story because it's getting heated and the fire does not help here. You have the next story on your phone.
Okay.
And keep passing the ruffles. Thanks.
All right. Next story. Am I the butthole for being jealous of my friend female relationship with a guy? Okay, this is already sounding
spicy.
So me, 29 male, and my friend, 27 female, have been friends for about 2 years. We call each other besties more out of reassuring name calling than anything else. So she had been going through a laundry list of guys, all douchebag. Look, I got a big dick kind of guys, and each time I watch her get hurt over and over.
BD, I think.
So am I the butthole for being jealous of my friend female relationship with a guy? So me, 29 male, and my friend, 27 female, have been best friends for about 2 years. We call each other bestie more out of reassuring name calling than anything else. So she had been going through a laundry list of guys, all douchebags. Look, I've got a big package kind of guys, and each time I watch her get hurt over and over. She has done the same. My last relationship seemed good till I was cheated on again, and my bestie was there telling me, I told you so, but I love you, in a platonic way. But this most recent guy is good so far, but she likes him for a certain very good feature, but she is describing me, nerd, kinda goofy, handy, had a rough past, kind, caring, good listener, and a dad bod. At first I thought it was weird, but now I find myself being jealous when hearing her speak about it. We have been spending almost every day together lately playing Polya. I find myself feeling cold sweat. I find myself feeling a cold sweat at the idea of losing her to this guy. And I don't know if I'm just an a-hole or a butthole friend or if there is something else going on. All right.
Okay, so I will say, just start off the top, you are not the butthole. And I will say the reason why you're not is because of the fact that you can do something about this. You can talk to her and be like, hey, so I noticed that the person that you're seeing has a lot of similar traits to me. And I'm trying to understand why that is. Is that because you find a good thing in him, or is it because you're trying to replace me? Because right now I'm feeling replaceable and I haven't done anything except to be by your side. But now you have him who is super similar to me. And it makes me feel very insecure. And I get we're friends, but also as a friend, it feels weird. What are your thoughts?
I actually completely agree. I would say no, not the butthole. I would also add though, if I would pour it more in the score. Butthole score for you, I would say 0 because no, you're perfectly fine. You have a reason to feel concerned especially when your best friend is starting to hook up with guys that are almost identical to you. Because now that starts hitting you at the heart. where it's like, I know we're friends, but you found someone close enough to be a clone of me, personality and behavior wise, but I'm not okay.
Yeah.
So now you're looking at what's wrong with me. And you
Mm-hmm.
guys have been incredibly close for 2 years where you've both seen each other in bad relationships. I will advise this, talk to her, and if she does not give you a good answer, writer of this post, leave her. It's time to cut that relationship off because you are going to be you are getting put into the friend zone and it's not a healthy spot for you. Because she has now gotten to the point of every dude she's dated, she knows what's bad, but she also has already showing she knows what's better, what she prefers and what's healthier for her, but she doesn't want it to be you. So leave, because you're more likely to get hurt in the long run. Because if you are chosen, you're going to be chosen once everything else has failed. And to you, that is not fair. And if she gets mad about that, She was just using you for attention for 2 years. And that's a sad thing to say, but it's reality of dating nowadays, especially in that kind of situation. Unless you've also been dating girls that are incredibly close in behavior to your best friend. If that is happening, you two just need to straight up talk. 2, that's another reason y'all would need to talk. Because you guys are just jumping around the bush instead of just directly dealing with the person in question.
So you would say at the ultimate, this is a communication issue.
I would say this isn't a communication issue. I would say there needs to be some communication now, because you're dealing with a clone. You're dealing with an imperfect clone. And remember how you felt during our first year?
Sure. Yeah. The recording could only record so long, so I need you to take up your pace. Thank you.
So you remember how you felt with our first year?
Mm-hmm.
How you thought I was just dating you because you were wannabe copy.
It wasn't the first. Yeah, it was the first year.
It was the first year. It was the first month.
Forget the first month. Like when we were dating, when we got married, I felt like a copy.
This is what he's going through. But it took her to almost get damaged to a major extent, and he's going through it. So he's not the butthole. I would give his female friend in this situation, I would give her about a 2.5 out of 5, because her feelings are her feelings, which you cannot be punished on. But you are willingly dating people that are like your best friend, instead of just communicating with him and not taking his emotional state into fact.
Absolutely. So I will say, do you think this was a good couple of stories to cover today for our first episode?
Yeah.
Okay. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and comment down below what other stories that you want us to talk about from the relationship point of view, or if you have any of your own thoughts, because I would love to hear your thoughts on these 3 stories. But until next time, don't forget to check out
the Royal Mech Gaming channel
or my channel, Charente Car. I love you, besties, infinity and beyond. Please know you're more than enough. And bye for now.
Bye-bye.
Okay, let me go triple check that it recorded all that. And I'm backing this up because I'm not fire.